Hey y'all, it is Wednesday. Woo-hoo. We are choosing happy this beautiful Wednesday. I hope you guys' this week is going well. This is habit therapy. And if you haven't noticed, we are meeting at or doing habit therapy at a new time. So now noon-ish, Mountain Standard Time, 2-ish Eastern Time. And for all of the Fit and New family members, you can catch Habit Therapy live here in the Fit and New Fam private Facebook group. For those who are not family members, we will be posting this immediately after on our Facebook page and then also to YouTube. And if you have access to our app, it'll also be saved in our app under the Habit Therapy channel. Okay, so I'm excited because when I show up, we're typically talking about fitness. And today we're talking about a topic that a lot of people ask me about, which is how to develop a workout plan for themselves. And not just any workout plan, because as we know, you can easily Google, ChatGPT, YouTube, different type of workout. But a plan that actually works with your schedule, your goals, and with your interests, which is very important if you're looking to achieve goals long term. So we're going to get into it. And I think I'm going to take a seat here. And as people begin to join, just to note, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to put them down below in the comments. I will do my best to look at them and to respond. I'm going to get through as much as I can as possible and then have time for the questions after. Cool? Cool. All right. So again, I'm Fit Coach Brittney Rae, and we are talking about PWP. That's your personal workout plan. Sometimes you will hear Jocelyn and I change that W to wellness plan. We like to make it interchangeable because not everything is just workout specific. With Fit and New, as you know, we're fitness and nutrition, all encompassing with your wellness journey. So that PWP, personal workout or wellness plan, we use it both ways. All right, so first let's talk about what is a workout. Obviously, it's something that requires some work, and the work is done by you personally and you physically. So, working out is doing an intentional routine, exercise routine that typically focuses on certain body parts or muscle groups. Sometimes we work out more for our cardiovascular fitness or cardiorespiratory fitness, opposed to, say, building up our strength and building up our muscles. But either way, whether you're focusing on working out for cardio or strength training, you are intentional. And that's the difference between a workout and just performing everyday physical activity. There is some intentionality behind what you're doing and why you're doing it. Don't get me wrong. I know plenty of people that will go to a gym with absolutely no plan or idea on what their workout's going to be. So then they just start doing random stuff or hop on random machines that they feel most comfortable with. That is okay as long as you set some type of measurement for yourself for that time that you're dedicated to working out. So whether it be I'm going to, complete a full circuit of these machines, go through once or twice, or I'm going to be on the treadmill, say for 15 minutes, and then I'll move on to another cardio machine. Just having some type of idea of whether time, so how long it is that you're going to be performing the workout, or number of reps is another way to measure. Also, considering your intensity levels. So that's where we start to get a little bit more intentional with our workout routine by then saying like, okay, not only am I going to be on the treadmill for 20 minutes, but I'm going to make sure that for 10 of those minutes, I'm taking it up to a higher intensity, whether it be increasing that incline or increasing that speed. And then, or you can make it interval training where you're going back and forth between intensity levels, whether it be you reduce that incline, then come back up, or you reduce that speed and increase it. So that's a quick overview of workouts. Also, you got a lesson on interval training, is just changing that intensity. And then I already kind of touched on one of my favorite principles for fitness, which is FIT, FITT. So frequency, intensity, time, and type. This principle is great for helping you to create a workout for yourself. So whenever I'm doing programming for my clients, I make sure, one, I identify the frequency. So how often do you want to work out a week? Are you looking to train, say, with me, whether it be personal training or group fitness training, twice a week, and then you plan on doing your own workouts, say 2 or 3 times a week, or would you like it to be flipped? So just being very clear on the frequency, how frequent you're going to do those intentional workouts. I being intensity. So the intensity of your workouts really should be dictated or decided based on your fitness level. So if you have never done a fit test before, I highly recommend it, which at Fit and New, you know that we offer fit tests. You could go to fitandnew.com/book and book a fit test with me. But this is where we identify about 5 major levels to see where you are in your fitness, and then to use that information to program a customized program or a personalized workout plan for you. So those 5 areas are performance. So that's usually either a mile run or a mile row. I see. Then we have balance, which is essential. Flexibility. Then we have core stability. And then we have strength. And strength, we're usually testing in like push and pull. So push-ups, you can do pull-ups, also lower body strength with squats or wall sits. So these fit tests can be conducted online. I usually give homework if you don't have access to like any type of cardio machine at home for us to, meet and for me to see how you perform your cardio, then we could always do, you could always do your homework of a mile run or row on your own. Or if you have a step of some sort, we could do a 3-minute step up test. And from that test, after just stepping up and down for 3 minutes, I'll have you find your pulse, see how many beats per minute you get. And that will then tell me how quickly you recover from doing cardiovascular fitness. And that tells us how strong you are, overall with your lungs and being able to recover quickly. So there's a whole rating system for that. And we could see how we need to improve in that area if you're below the average rate for your age group. So frequency, intensity, and then for time. So like I mentioned earlier, being intentional about how long your workouts are going to be or how long your sets are going to be. I like to keep it simple with the 3-33 rule. If you've ever taken one of my classes, we do a lot of interval training where I show you 3 exercises. We perform each for 30 seconds and we do 3 sets of that. So we run that cycle or that circuit 3 times. This is easy for me because I just get to put on a timer. and you're performing as many reps as possible, or performing as many reps as possible. So AMRAP, you might hear that in gym terminology, within that 30-second time frame. One other time-bound thing when it comes to exercising is how long do you allot to your workout routine? So we're all busy, and it's important to kind of set an appointment for your workouts, just as you would for a doctor's appointment, or therapy, or whatever it may be. So if whether you're coming to a class, or you are working out on your own at home, or in a gym, decide on how long your workout's going to be. I honestly don't think that longer than an hour is necessary. Really, once you push longer than an hour, you are putting yourself at risk of overtraining, which can cause more harm than, help to your body, especially if you're doing weightlifting, strength training, and not giving yourself adequate rest. Typically, those who are in the gym for longer than an hour, either they're doing giving themselves adequate rest in between each of their sets. So anywhere from like a minute to 2 minutes, and that's typical for like heavy lifting, weight training, or they're just kind of hanging out. So you kind of to gauge where you stand with that, if you are in fact training or at a gym longer than an hour. But honestly, a solid 20 to 55 minutes is perfect. 20 minutes if you're doing higher intensity workouts. So going back to that I and the fit, where you have little to no rest. It's one exercise after another. And that's very similar to what we do in our HIIT Body Fit class every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Mountain. We're just knocking it out one after another. And that's only I think that's only a 40-minute class there. So very quickly, we're getting that work in. If you're doing a little bit longer than 20 minutes, say about going up to about 30 to 45 minutes, you can still, have like your interval training, higher intensity interval training, and then you can build into some strength training, or do a lot of compound exercises, which means you're getting multiple muscle groups involved, or you're working multiple muscle groups at the same time. So instead of just doing a squat, maybe you add a squat to a press. That will help to maximize your workout when you do those compound exercises, which I'm all for maximizing, because ain't nobody got time for that to just be working on one muscle group at a time. Also, during a shorter workout, you can focus on just one area. So you could do like a split with your workout routine, where you're like splitting your body in half essentially. So say on Tuesdays, you just do upper body, and Thursdays you do lower body. That way, you're really targeting those areas. You're intentional about creating workouts or adding exercises that will target like your arms, back, chest, and whatnot. And then for the longer workouts, that's when you can really, so say about 50 to 60 minutes long, that's when you can really plan out everything from your warm-up. So have a decent amount of exercises to do for your warm-up, about a 10-minute warm-up. And then you can go into, I typically like to go into HIIT training right after that for about, say about anywhere 5 to 10 minutes. And then we'll go into strength training for the bulk of it. That could be another 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, where you're doing strength training for the targeted muscle groups. And then I always like to end in core, but that could also be blended into your strength training. And then you have your cool down. You want to allow about 5 to 10 minutes for your cool down where you're doing static stretching. So you're taking your time, you're not rushing yourself through it. You're focusing on your breath throughout that process. You could even add in SMR, which is self myofascial release during that time where you're using the foam roller, which helps with your recovery process. So loosening up those muscles, helping to blood and oxygen flow so that way you could recover quickly. So the longer workouts definitely have its benefits just because you can take your time with that warm up and the cool down and make sure you get everything in between. So really that's up to you and up to your schedule. But when it comes to creating your own PWP, personal workout plan, there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind. And I'm going to pull up my notes here. So the first one is one, ask yourself, what are my goals? So before you create any plan at all, and this is in life, so I'm dropping some major keys right here. You always need to identify your goals. Why is this necessary? Well, because if you aren't doing things with a goal in mind, you're just doing it aimlessly. And there's no real way to measure your progress because you don't even know what you're trying to get to. So ask yourself, what are my fitness goals? And it may not just be fitness. And when I say fitness goals, I'm speaking to like if you have specific performance goals, like that you want to be able to bench, a certain amount of weight, or you want to be able to squat a certain amount, or for like the average woman, it might just be, I want to be able to do 3 push-ups, without feeling tired and do a full push-up where I'm not on my knees, or to be able to walk up and down the stairs 3 times and not be exhausted after that. So those are more fitness performative goals, but also think about what your physical goals are. So are you wanting to, say, tone up your arms and feel stronger? So when you have to carry all those groceries in, you don't have to make multiple trips. You can confidently grab all those bags, walk them into the house, and feel strong and do it with ease. Are you wanting to build up your core so you can improve your posture and reduce back pain? Or what's most popular is just build up your core so you can have a nice snatched waist. Or are you wanting to increase or decrease your hips and your butt? So decrease might be reducing that fat and getting your hips to be more toned and muscular. Increase might be increasing your muscle mass and lifting up your butt so it looks a little perkier. So what are your physical and fitness goals? And then I want you to get as specific as possible, and just know that even though you cannot spot train fat, so you can't like just say, I want to lose fat right here and then expect that you're going to work out and you're just going to lose fat there. Our body doesn't work that way. I still want you to think about the areas where you would like to reduce fat, where you would like to increase muscle or to get more tone. And then also, when are you looking to achieve these goals by? So when we're talking about getting specific, you have to have, and you don't have to have a specific date in mind, but just you want to be clear on if there is a deadline or a certain time frame that you want to achieve the goal by, to write that down. So that way we know how aggressive we need to be with your workout plan. And that will then give us some information on how to properly schedule out your sessions and kind of do the math to see how many sessions a week you should be doing in order to meet that deadline. And then with other goals, if it's related to things that are not performative based or, sorry, Z is going crazy. Stop, Z. performative based or physical activity based. It could be just something related to your mood. So you want to boost your mood because you know when you work out, you feel good. You choose to be happy every day because working out gives you that daily dose of endorphins and dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all those feel good, happy hormones. Or it might be because you want to regulate what's going on in your body. So regulate your hormones. As women, we know that stress can throw off our hormones in a way to where our cycle is completely thrown off, or our sleep is thrown off, um, our appetite is thrown off. So the beauty of exercise is it helps to regulate all of those things. So if this is important to you, write that down as a goal. Okay. So get into all of the fitness, physical, and we'll say mindfulness of when it comes to setting your goals. And then after you've identified your goals, the next thing for creating your personal workout plan is to identify the things that you actually enjoy doing. Yes. So what actually brings you joy and what's going to motivate you, or what will you be motivated to do if it is laid out on your calendar to do. So for example, I love dancing. So I use dancing as my form of cardio because I know that if I go to an hour-long class and it's dance focused, that I'm going to enjoy doing that and that I'll be excited to show up to it. But I also know I don't love running, but I also know that I need cardio. So therefore, I choose dancing as my form of cardio. So what is it that you enjoy? You might be the complete opposite where you love to run, but you're not much of a dancer. And that could be your form of cardio. So second, identify the things that you enjoy, write that out. And the things we're talking about are physical activities. We're not talking about like brunch on Sundays, talking about physical activities, riding bikes, swimming, dancing, running, even something that is a little more leisure and low impact like gardening. This can still be a form of physical activity because obviously you're lifting and squatting. So I can certainly teach you how to do that properly to where it is an exercise as well as gardening. And then which one of those activities, or if you have a couple on your list, which one can you start today? So we might say like, oh, I really enjoy hiking, but say the weather doesn't permit that today, or that requires you planning in advance to be able to do like the type of hikes you like to do, or maybe it's, I don't know, some activity that just requires a little more planning. Let's put that one at the bottom of the list. And at the top of your list, I want you to put the things that you can start today. So if it is dancing, you can either find a local dance class, or if you're a Fit and New family member, we have our Dance Fitness, our Dance Fit channel on our Fitness on Demand library. You could tap into those classes with Coach Maya, or you can just turn on some music and dance at home, be intentional about dancing for 30 minutes to an hour, whatever it may be. But identify the things that you can start today that you enjoy. All right, after that, then I want you to identify how many days a week are you willing to do workout. So the intentional routine where, again, we were talking about the FIT principle, where you're applying that FIT principle, the frequency, intensity, time, type. So the type is what you just identified. Now we want to see how many days a week are you willing to do this. So this takes a little bit of math, not much, but as you're asking yourself, like, okay, ideally, I would like to work out blank days a week. I want you to consider your schedule and be realistic about your schedule. Also consider that you need at least 2 rest days. So I know that, when it's that time where you're motivated to get back into the swing of things, or, to take your fitness to the next level, we often want to be ambitious and say, I want to work out every single day. But rest is part of the program. So that's why I say consider 2 rest days in that week. One being an active rest day. So that's where you could be doing something a little bit lighter and low impact, such as gardening or walking, or like it could just be, something of leisure, riding leisurely on your bike through the neighborhood. So once you've identified the days or how many days a week that you are willing to work out, and again, this is the full routine workout, now we identify what are those rest days going to be. So most people will say like Saturday and Sunday are going to be the rest days just because it's the weekend. And that's usually when we like to go out and have fun. Saturday typically is a more active day. So you might be going shopping, or, you might be doing some of those leisure activities I mentioned. And then Sunday is usually the like rest day where you're not leaving the house, and you might just be tucked in your bed or on the couch all day, which is totally fine because that is all part of the program. So write down what those days are going to be, and then now we have to put into your workout plan. And right now all of this is probably just the list. So you're going to now identify, okay, I said I wanted to work out 3 days a week. I have 2 rest days. So write which days throughout the week that you're going to do those workouts. Is it going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then you rest Saturday and Sunday? And let's just use that as an example. So if you're going to do that, I'm going to show you one tool that I like to use with our, like with my personal training clients. And it's literally just a calendar. And I will share my screen here. So in this calendar, this is the PWP. In this case, I have a personal wellness plan. But in this calendar, this is where I would type, okay, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's say Monday, we're going to do upper body. Wednesday, we'll do lower. And Friday, this will be core. Okay. And then Saturday, we're going to do active breath. And then Sunday will be rest. So this is what I want you to have at the end of this, is just having that first week planned out. And I could have put that here. There we go. So you have a visual, and then you could actually transfer this into your calendar in your phone, so you're getting reminders of what to do. Now on these in-between days, so Tuesday and Thursday, I like to call these recovery days. And excuse the change in the font here. So these aren't necessarily rest days. These are recovery days where you're performing recovery activities such as walking. And I recommend walking every single day. Try to get in at least 30 minutes of overall physical activity in a day. So I like to just say, try to walk at least 30 minutes a day. That can be broken up. So you could do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes in the evening. Or you could do one big block. But your recovery days, you definitely want to focus on walking in zone 2. So I'll just put walk, zone 2. And what that means is you're walking at about where you first identify your target or max heart rate rather, and you want to walk within about 70% of that max heart rate. So meaning you're walking at a pace to where you can talk, but you wouldn't be able to sing. But even with you talking, you're not saying like long paragraphs like I'm saying. It might be just quick one-liners. But you definitely would not be able to sing. So it should be a bit challenging, you know, where you actually feel yourself. If you sweat, you might feel yourself sweating. You might feel yourself, you know, breathing heavily, but you're able to maintain that for at least, you know, 30 minutes comfortably. So walking is a great recovery activity. Also, I mentioned earlier, SMR, self-myofascial release. So foam rolling. And if you don't have a foam roller, you can also use like a lacrosse ball and just massaging, you know, your body, the muscles that you've worked out on the previous days. So that way, the next workout that you have, you're not sore and restricted. Everything is functioning as it should. Okay. So here we have a full week workout. We have a workout plan. We know Sunday we're resting. Monday, and again, this is an example, so it could change, but Monday we're going to do upper body, Tuesday our recovery, Wednesday lower body, Thursday recovery, Friday core, and then Saturday active rest. Cool. One thing I do want to note, even though there's a day in this example set aside for core, your core is the one muscle group that we can work daily. So this is why, as a trainer, I always incorporate a core routine into my workouts. Because when you think about it, we are already using our core daily. Hopefully, you're using your core more than your back, meaning you're keeping that nice tall posture when you are seated just by zipping it up or sitting up nice and tall, stacking your vertebrae over your hips. You're automatically engaging that core. So it's important to build up that core strength and stability because it's literally what's keeping us upright. Also, core is tied to your strength as well as your balance. So the stronger, more stable your core is, the better balance you'll have, the more strength you'll have. If you are looking to do like heavier weightlifting, I would say a good test to see if you're ready to do like heavy, especially overhead weightlifting or squats, would be planking for 2 minutes. That's the pinnacle of planks, is 2 minutes. Planking is a great way to build up that core strength and stability. So you could start off, say you're only at 30 seconds now, plank around every single day. If you have something in the microwave, see if you can plank for the length of time that it's in there, or if there's a commercial, see if you could plank, and then you'll just start to build up that progression as far as like how long you can hold that plank, and you'll see that improvement happen pretty quickly. So it doesn't take long to make progress with that. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen there, but that is a quick glimpse of your personal workout plan. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. And just to note a few things, I know, let's see, we don't have any questions in the live chat just yet, but I do want to address a few questions that I often get. One, if you have this plan all figured out and you still find yourself having issues with following the plan, because the plan doesn't work unless you work the plan, right? Then you need to stop and identify what support and or tools you need in order to successfully execute the plan. So some ideas for support are, do I need an accountability buddy? Do I need a personal trainer? Do I need a workout buddy? Or do I just need a group fitness class to attend, which we offer live every Tuesday and Thursday mornings, starting at 6 a.m., to help with that accountability and to create a schedule for me. So be real with yourself, be realistic with yourself and your goals. And when you're asking yourself this question, type of support do I need to make sure I follow the plan? Because I know the plan won't work unless I work it. The other thing with tools, this could be the proper attire. So do you have the proper attire for working out? And not just to perform the workouts, but to feel confident while working out. Ladies, there's so many different lines of athletic wear out there now that helps with feeling confident while working out. As we know, we got things moving around and shaking and jiggling and all that. So getting some nice compression pants to just make everything feel nice and tight and in there so you're not moving around, getting good quality sports bras, just to make sure you're properly supported. Do you have those tools? Also, equipment. So for Fit and New, we like to keep our workouts to low to no equipment. So that way we can eliminate any excuses to working out. Also, you are working out from the comfort of your home. This is my office slash studio, training studio. So one, making sure you have the space to actually perform the workouts. And then two, for the equipment, if you're signing up for a class, inquire about what's necessary to take the class. For Fit New, say for our Hip Body Fit, we typically use dumbbells, anywhere between 3 to like 8-pound dumbbells. And then for our band camp class, we use resistance bands. So you can either use like the TheraBand or the tube band or the loop band. Other than that, sometimes I'll pull out different type of equipment based on who's with us and what everyone has access to. But for the most part, I keep it to low to no equipment. Okay. And some other questions, common questions asked. When it comes to strength training and cardio, how do I know which one to incorporate? Well, both is the answer. You want to have both strength and cardio in your workout routine, no matter your body type, no matter your fitness goals, because the reality is if you're alive and kicking, you need to strengthen your heart, or if your heart is strong. If your heart is strong, if your lungs are already strong, you want to maintain that so that way you can continue to have that endurance and stamina, and just for everyday activities such as climbing stairs or walking from your parked car to a store, whatever it may be. So that's the importance of cardio, is keeping our organs nice and healthy and helping with that blood and oxygen flow, keeping that going. And then strength training is important for our muscle mass and our bones. So as we get older, our bone density and muscle mass decreases if we don't do strength training. And this makes you more prone for osteoporosis, arthritis, broken bones. So if you want to prevent that, if that's a concern of yours, then definitely you need to incorporate in strength training into your exercise routine. Strength training is anything from body weight training, like push-ups or squats, or resistance training, like using actual resistance bands or dumbbells. So any type of weighted training is going to be strength training. All right. Another question is, when it comes to fat loss, about what's a healthy amount to lose every week. So fat loss obviously is a big goal for a lot of us women, or we might say weight loss. But at Fit New, we say fat loss. If we're losing anything, it's going to be fat, because the thing is, we don't want to lose muscle. We want to gain muscle and reduce our fat. So as we know, muscle weighs more than fat. So if we're actively increasing our muscle mass and decreasing our fat levels, then our weight is either going to stay the same, or in some cases it might increase, which is totally okay if you are in fact building muscle and burning fat. So this is why we do not focus on weight. But fat loss, yes. So a healthy amount of fat to lose a week is about 0.5 to 1% of your body fat mass, which averages out to about 1 to 2 pounds a week. So I wouldn't necessarily expect any more than 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss. If you are doing a good balance of cardio strength training, plus, most importantly, making sure your food complements your fitness. So you cannot out exercise a bad diet. Let me say it again for the people in the back. You cannot out exercise a bad diet. So you have to make sure your food complements your fitness in order to see that 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss per week. Another thing, let's see. When it comes to muscle gain, so how much muscle, what's a realistic pace of muscle gain? I would say over a month, it's about 5 pounds. So if you're really looking to build your muscle, on average, you could gain about 5 pounds a month. That's realistic and healthy. Just know that muscle growth is a gradual process. So if gains is all you want, on average, you need to be doing at least 10, well, not doing, but I would say, well, yeah, doing at least 2 to 3 strength training exercises or workouts, excuse me, a week, because it's going to take about 10 consistent strength training or resistance training sessions before you start to really see gain. And then about 18 sessions is where you'll like really start to see definition. You'll feel it. You'll actually see the scale. If you have a smart scale that tells you your muscle mass, you'll actually see those changes there. So I like to do ratios when it comes to training. If you're looking to gain more muscle, then I would say about 3 strength training, 2 cardio. So 3 to 2 ratio a week. If yours is more fat loss, then you could do about 3 cardio, 2 strength training, like 2 to 3 for your ratio a week. Okay, so that's overall training 5 times a week. And then you just have that ratio depending on what your goals are. But either way, strength training is in there. And I think that's all for the common Q&As, but thank you all so much for joining. I hope this was helpful. Please check out fitandnew.com. If you are not a family member, we will provide some tools for you. We're going to drop that personal wellness plan, PWP template for our family members to access so they could work with their coaches on developing that. And yeah, if you want some support, like how our family members are getting, just holler at us. We are more than happy to answer any questions. And then we also have our Body Boss Up Challenge coming up next week. It begins April 15th. So we're actually hosting our prep rally this Friday, April 12th. I think we said 2. You have to go to fitandnew.com to double check that. But that prep rally is a great time for members to join to know how to prepare for the challenge. And then for those who are just interested in learning more about the challenge, you can also join the prep rally by RSVPing and learning all about it. All right. Thank you. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Continue to choose happy, and I will catch you next Habit Therapy. Peace.